Yo, what is up, my guys? I'm coming back at you today with something a little bit different. As we all know, the 200th YCS just happened in three different places around the world. Unanimously, Sky Striker was the most popular deck at every event. It may not have won every event, um, but it was definitely the most placing deck in every top 64 in all three. So today I'm just going to go through my deck profile on Sky Strikers and tell you why this deck is so versatile and why it is so widely popular to so many people. All right, so 3 Ray. Um, so this card was actually before the Hornet Drone hit. This card was actually a little bit better to play at 2, I'd say. With the one Roto, you would essentially have 3, but now that the Hornet Drones is at 1, your ways of making the Link monsters have decreased. And it's not like you have to make them just once. Normally, they'll out them in a different way than destroying them by battle. So you got to have the multiple rays access. You want to open this card. So you got to play the three ray. All right, 3 Ash. Now I think this is one of the most important hand traps to be playing right now. Not only does it not lose to Magical Midbreaker Field in the Goki matchup, it is also unanimously very good against all the decks that are really popular right now. It has applications against Trickstar, against Pure Striker, against Goki, against all Rogue. It's just a very good card, and it is also the only hand trap that stops Shared Ride, which is super important when you're playing this deck because that card can be a blowout. 2 Ghost Ogre. I feel this card is very good as well. In the Sky Striker matchup, you can use it to stop multi-roll, and in the Goki matchup, you can use it to you can use it in a lot of places, but the best places is on the Firewall or on the Summon Sword. It really hurts them a lot. So that's that. Uh, 2 Ghost Spell. This card is very good at stopping Called by the Grave, which is very good against this deck. Not only can they just stop your hand traps, but they can also banish your Ray as well. And banishing Ray is one of the best ways to permanently out a Link monster, one of their Link monsters. So I think playing this card is very important. It helps protect your monsters as well as when you're going second. It helps protect you from extenders your opponent may have, such as Soul Charge or Goki Rematch or the World Chalice spell that brings back a monster. Um, one Phantom Skyblaster. I actually think this card is very good right now. It raises the ceiling of your deck. It raises the ceiling of your deck by an absurd amount just by normal summoning this card. I'll explain a little bit later at the end of the video what the exact combo is, but yeah. For now, that's the monsters. Let me go into the spells. We play 3 Engage. This card is obviously the best card. It becomes any of the other cards in your deck, as well as drawing you a card. It's just so easy to get ahead when you have this card. 3 Widow Anchor. This card is so unfair. It steals your monster. It negates a monster effect. It is a quick play spell. It's so versatile and in so many ways one of the best cards in this deck for sure. 2 Multi-Roll. While this card is insane, you don't really need to play 3. It is continuous. But playing the second enables you to open it more, as well as when you lose the first one to maybe like a Cosmic Cyclone, it allows you to have a second one to, recycle with Goggery later or just activate from your hand. Um, 2 Afterburners. This card makes your Draco matchup very easy. I also think that it's very good against the Mirror match. It's good against Trickstar. It's good against Altergeist. It really is just a really good card in a lot of matchups. It's not very good against Goki because dealing with one of their monsters won't really help you. But um, that matchup is better to go first in anyway. So, I mean, there isn't really much thinking about going second in that matchup when all you really need going second in that matchup is a way to stop their combo. Once they've done their combo and looped you for the cards in your hand, it's like it's either have have the engage with the 3 spells, you're probably not making it back into this game. 2 Area 0. So this card is actually not amazing. Its reveal effect is definitely subpar. There are going to be times when you just, hit the engage off of it, and that's just amazing. But most of the time, you're not really hitting anything good. Like a lot of the times, you might you might field spell, send a good card in order to get Hercules base, and you're like, man, that sucks. But this card is the best part about this card is that it gets Ray from the deck. So as I was saying before, now that Hornet Drones is at 1, you really have to maximize your ways to get to Ray. So playing this card, being able to send it with multi-roll to trigger its effect, being able to Twin Twister it, or use your heavy dust storms on it. There are a lot of this card is very versatile and definitely a good starter card for the deck. 1 Hercules base. This is obviously you just needed to recycle your monsters, as well as it sometimes comes up that you use the effect on equipping, but really not that much. This card, so this is something that popped up a lot at the 200th YCS, and the biggest reason that this card is seeing play right now is because in the mirror match, this card is so important. If your opponent plays this card and you don't, you're going to lose the grind, because eventually, like they'll just keep ego boostering on your Widow Anchors, and you won't be able to kill their monsters by battle, and it's just very tough to play out of all their back row when they play ego booster. So I really feel this card is the best in the mirror match. It's also really good against Goki when you're going first. They can't extra link you if you have 3 spells engraved when you activate this, because they can't destroy by battle and they can't affect it, which means they literally can't get rid of it unless they kaiju your link monster. So this card is very strong. Definitely a good inclusion to the deck now that the format is a little bit slower. 1 Shark Cannon. This card allows you to make Boral Sword easier. It can also help you banish your opponent's Ray. Sometimes you can special summon their Kagari to get its effect, and then you can add back Engage or whatever spell you need at the moment, and then send their Kagari off of your multi-roll so it's not clogging your main monster zone. So super strong card. 1 Hornet Drone, no explanation needed there. Limited to 1. 1 Jamming Wave. I feel this card is it's pretty good alongside with Afterburners. You're just able to pop more cards, deal with the rogue matchups easier. 2 Twin Twisters. This card has been seeing a lot of play lately because of Sky Striker. It's just really good against this deck. It helps you grind through all their multi-roll sets, and in general, it's good in this deck, being able to set up more spells in your grade. So Terraforming, it just adds an extra spell whenever you activate it. If you draw this and the field spell, you can send this off of the field spell for value, so there's that. 1 Upstart puts a spell in the grave. 1 Reinforcement of the Army puts a spell in the grave. This is kind of weird, so I play 1 Called by the Grave. My reasoning behind this is this deck doesn't really lose that hard to hand traps. For those who don't know, there's probably a better explanation on YouTube, but by using multi-roll's effect, you're able to play around Drone Lockbird. You're literally able to make it so they can't activate Drone Lockbird on you by using multi-roll. So that's not too much of a problem for you, but cards like Ash can be sometimes, like if used in the correct place, an Ash could be devastating. So I think this card is good at 1. It's also obviously very good against Ray, and in certain matchups it can be good as like a trap card. So like if you're going first against say Mermail and they were to summon the Neptibus, send Dragoons, and you banish the Dragoons, it's like, what are they going to do from there? Their Dragoons is negated, so they really have no advantage engine. 3 Shared Ride. Now, this was a very popular card this weekend, and not only Sky Striker, but pretty much every deck that topped was playing this in some capacity. It's just super strong to be able to set this card. I feel super safe. Like in the mirror match, when you have this and Eagle Booster, it's just such a free turn where your opponent can't do anything, and then you're just able to out advantage them slowly by gaining more cards in them. So yeah, definitely a strong card. 2 impermanence. Card is good. On the extra deck, we played 3 red, 3 blue, and 3 green. The only ratio here I think is questionable is the 3 green. It's not totally necessary to play 3, but I feel that playing 3 helps you in the grind game a little bit more. And honestly, there wasn't much else that I wanted to add into my extra deck, so I just thought the 3rd and Hayate comes up sometimes, so we're gonna play. This is kind of like just a utility package, really. Off of when you really need to out a lot of cards, you can. There's another card that I played that I'll show later. It's Link Spider, but when you go Phantom Sky Blaster, you can then make the link spider or whatever up here, and then you turn what and then you turn the cards under it into the Phoenix, right? And then you pop a card, draw a card because it was co-linked to the link spider, and then you turn the link spider and whatever else you have on the board into this above the Phoenix. And then if you really need to, then you can turn these two into Ningirsu, which outs another card. So it's like a 3-card out just by summoning Phantom Skyblazer. For the cards you put into the combo, you out 3 cards on the board and cycle through 2 cards in your hand, which, I mean, there are a lot of dead cards if you draw extra field spells, or just like the Hercules base when you don't need it, or like you have an extra multi-roll, It's it might seem like a not so advantageous play, but really, like, this is it's stuff like this is why Phantom Skyblaster is such a good card. Also, all these cards are good by themselves. So anyway, on to the next 3 cards. It's 1 Link Spider, 1 Space Insulator, and 1 Boral Sword. So Boral Sword is absolutely nuts. For those of you who don't know what he does, basically he can attack again by switching a monster to defense. There is an OTK combo for when you open drones and Sky Blaster. Basically, you activate drones, summon Kagri, add back the drones, activate the drones, then summon Sky Blaster. Since you have Sky Blaster, drone token, and Kagri on the field, that's 3 monsters. So that means you get 3 tokens, which is 6 monsters on the board altogether. You use the Kagri and one of the tokens to make Space Insulator. You use another token to make the Link Spider, and then you just use these 2 and just another effect monster to make this. And yeah, they're it's exactly 8,000 damage, because then you end up making one of the Sky Striker links, and the token has 500 attack. So it's perfect. For the side deck, we played 3 Gamma and, of course, the 1 Driver. Card is still insane against Draco. It's not as good because of Midbreaker Field being so common nowadays against Goki, because they just have to bang Midbreaker, and it still negates the monster's effect, but it doesn't destroy it, which is, it's sad. But yeah, card is still very strong. The second copy of Called by the Grave and the 3rd copy of Twin Twister. Twin Twister is just very necessary in a lot of matchups, and you want to have the 3rd one in. Called by the Grave being a very good card in Mirror Match, banishing the Ray, being a good card against just random rogue matchups. Yeah, just very strong cards. You definitely just want to have the extra copies in your side. Also, I'm sorry, guys. I'm very sick right now, so if you hear me sniveling in the background, well, you know how it is. Flu season. All right. 2 Forbidden Graveyard. Very good against Goki. I actually didn't see a lot of people playing this at the 200th. I saw them playing, what's the card called? Different Dimension Grounds. I feel like they accomplished the same thing, but I like this card a little bit better because you're able to activate it when they activate a graveyard effect. So when they send everything to grave, then you can Forbidden Graveyard them. It's also very good against Burning Abyss. Yeah, so very good card. I've been saying this card has been good for a long time, but 3 Solemn Strike. This card was very popular at the YCS, gained a lot of ground. I I've just thought this card has been very good for a long time. You can just go first against a lot of decks, set this card, and it's just very strong against Goki. It's strong against Sky Striker. It's very strong. It's not very good against decks like Altergeist, obviously, because Protocol is just such a good card. But yeah, good card. 3 Heavy Storm Duster. Picked up a lot of popularity at the YCS. Obviously, very good against backer decks. You want to be playing as many Twin Twister-esque cards as possible. And the siding into the third Twin Twister plus 3 of these is 6 Twin Twisters, essentially. So you can't go wrong. It makes pretty much every backer deck a free matchup. So there's that. The third Impermanence, because it's a very good card. And yeah, that's it for the deck profile.